Um, very, very excited for our first training. If you don't know, of course, we launched this particular group not too long ago. And right now we're probably at about 400 plus people in the group. And I would say this, this is not one of those things, of course, you join and it's just something in the back end that's been waiting for everything, of course, that you see is very much genuine. Everything that you see is pretty much is pure, just, very authentic. Over the next few moments, what I want to do is I wanted to do a training because I got a chance to, last week, we started to actually get on some one-on-one calls with people. And I got a clear understanding on what is going on with a lot of people that's joining this group when it comes down to this industry. And a lot of times I would just say, majority of the time, if you don't have something to write with and something to write on, I would definitely suggest that you go ahead and you make that happen. I am going to move pretty fast with a lot of this information because I only have a short amount of time. I want to try to keep this at an hour, but I'm gonna just let it be known right now. Whatever I tell you, of course, if you implement everything that I'm saying, more than likely in the next 90 days, you can change your income. Okay. I'm not going to give you any hoopla. I'm not going to give you anything that's just like, I already knew that. I'm going to give you something that literally you can implement immediately, and it could change your business. Okay. It could change your business. The first thing, of course, that I want people to start to understand is that the insurance industry, once you get that license, you are now a business. Okay. You are now a business. The problem is that most people get in and they get trained by salespeople and they start to just be a salesperson and they forget to start to think like a business person. So when you make a decision to say, hey, I'm going to get my insurance license, it doesn't matter what area I'm in, you need to first come in and start to understand that, okay, I have my insurance license. I need to create a story. Okay. I need to create a story as fast as possible. Because when I create that story as fast as possible, I want to create some type of momentum. Okay. You want to create some type of momentum in the beginning. A lot of you all are coming from different IMOs. They teach different things, and which is perfectly fine. But my problem that I'm hearing on a consistent basis is that most people are stuck in a sales mentality. And I'm going to tell you what a sales mentality is. A sales mentality is someone who only focuses on what, who's the next person. Who's the next person? Who's the next person? You have an industry when you make a decision to get, especially let's just talk about life insurance. When you make a decision to get that life insurance license, you have the opportunity to sell so many different products. You have so many opportunities to take advantage of different concepts, but you have to implement those concepts. So what do I mean? This is the difference between a salesperson and a business person. A salesperson in their calendar, they're doing consistent sales activities. That's all they're doing. They're doing consistent sales activities. They show up, they get on the phone, they close the deal. Okay, you said no. Okay, boom. I'm gonna send you over to somebody else, or I'm just gonna, find the person that says yes or not. A business person is going to understand and study what is happening inside of their business. A business person is going to understand the measurements of what is happening, what makes them successful. The reason why I said you want to create a story as fast as possible is because you're going to have the opportunity to measure exactly what you did. So let's say, for example, you come in and you're on fire. You got momentum. You make $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 your first month. Okay. You make $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 your first month. You need to go back and you need to analyze, okay, what did I do over that course of 30 days that allowed me to make that $6,000? Understand that everything you do is going to be in 90-day increments, okay? So your first 30 days should be filled up with activity, like constant activity. You're going to make a lot of mistakes within those first 30 days, okay? Now, the first 30 days, a business person and a salesperson might look alike. They might look exactly alike. It might look identical. Okay, this person is just talking to everybody. This person is, they're doing this, they're doing that, whatever, right? They're now, what happens is what's going to make the difference is when you get to about 60 days. The next 30 days is when you're in a situation to where when you've reached out to all those clients, you made that 6,000. Now what you want to do is you want to duplicate exactly what you did the first 30 days. You want to do literally, you don't want to get comfortable because you just hit your goal. You don't want to get comfortable. You don't want to be in a situation where you're like, okay, bet I just made this amount of money. Okay, I could chill. I created a story. Your stories are created every 90 days. Your stories are not created in every 30 days. Okay, so now here's the difference. This is where it starts to look a little bit different from a salesperson and a business person. Usually once you get to about that 60-day mark, this is where you're going to start to see the effects of the damage that you did the first 30 in the first 60 days. So now as a business person, what you need to do is you need to figure out, where are the holes that I punched? Where are the holes that I punched in my business when I made a lot of mess? Where should I go back and where should I fix certain areas? So that last 30-day sprint, I need to be looking at, okay, when I made the 6,000, but I got charged back 3,000, what could I have done differently to make sure that I didn't charge back those 3,000? What type of relationships, what type of conversation should I had to make sure that that person, felt comfortable enough to continuously pay their policy? Drop some ones in the chat if that is making sense so far. If that's making sense so far. So remember, let me revert it back a little bit. You're on a 90-day run. Your first 30 days, you're gonna mess up a lot. Okay, you're gonna do a lot of activity. Your calendar is your Bible in business. Period. Your calendar is your Bible, meaning if your calendar is not filled up, then more than likely you don't have faith. Okay, it's just like, you're in a religion, you don't read the book, you don't read the Bible, you don't read the Quran. I mean, what are we talking about? You're not doing the study. You're not studying to show yourself approved. Okay, perfect. Now that you're in this business model, you need to be looking at your calendar, and your calendar is what's need to get you a little bit more comfortable, not the money. The money is only there for you to measure exactly what's happening. That's the only reason why the money is there. So if I made $6,000, it means that I did something right to earn 6,000. If the next month I get $3,000 in chargebacks, and then I only earn, I did the same $6,000 worth of work, but I only earned 3,000, that means that there's something that I could have did to protect myself. There's something I could have did to protect myself. So what's happening is, I'm gonna tell you what's happening. This is what a salesperson is doing. Here's the difference. A salesperson says, you know what? I just made 6,000 my first 30 days. Boom, congratulations. And I'm just using 6,000 as an example, right? But I just made 6,000 my first 30 days. Now the next 30 days, what I'm going to do is, I noticed I got chargebacks. So I'm going to double my activity to get me out of chargebacks. That's called a salesperson. You don't want to think like that. A business person says, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at what exactly could I have done? What could I have implemented that could have saved me from those chargebacks? What could I have implemented that would have not only saved me from chargebacks, but I should have made more money. I should have never been in the hole. You want to make sure that you're tracking your business. Whatever is trackable, you can go back and look at exactly how you did it. If you're not tracking your business, you don't have a business. What I'm trying to get people to understand in this whole entire group, I'm speaking to people, I'm talking to people, and we're consistently sounding like salespeople. Okay? We're consistently sounding like salespeople. So we want to transition from the mentality of a salesperson to the mentality of a business person. And a business person says, what type of person was I talking to? What type of person paid the second, third, fourth, fifth month of the business? A business person says, did I have the opportunity to have that person pay an annual premium versus a monthly premium? A business person says, did I get referrals from that particular person? A business person looks and says, okay, if I'm buying leads, how much did I spend on leads? And how can I lower my cost per lead that next month? This is the mentality of a business person. So now once you get to the last 90 days, once you get to the last 90 days of your run, now you have the opportunity to go and look back at your business, and you can implement that third month what you didn't do that first month. That third month, so the first month is mess up activity, it's messy activity. The second month is measurable activity. I want to tighten some things up. I want to tighten the screws. I want to make sure that I got certain things in order. Now, once I have my systems and stuff in order, now that third month, now I'm just implementing systems. Now, here's the thing. I want all of you all to stop thinking that investing in your business is just buying leads, okay? If you're in this business to make money, that's one thing. But if you're in this business to create a business, that's another thing. You want to have the mentality of a person that's on a 20-year run, not a person that's trying to pay bills. If you're a person that's trying to pay bills, you're going to treat this business as it's a job. And we're not trying to treat it as a job. We're trying to treat it like a business. So the first rule, I'm going to say the first, for at least the first 10 rules of a business owner is, number one, how can I get myself out of my business? So when I start in this business, I want to be in a situation where in the beginning, I say, okay, all right, I'm in the business. I just did certain things. Cool. I'm the marketer for my business. I'm the administration person for my business. I'm the admin for my business. I'm the recruiter for my business. And I'm the servicer for my business. So I just counted 5 different jobs. So where if you go to a CEO company, that means that automatically you're in a space to where you just created 5 jobs for yourself. Drop some ones in the chat if that makes sense. Okay, remember the last 90 days. I'm going back and I'm looking to see, okay, what did I do consistently? Okay, so if I look back and I say, okay, when I look back over the 60 days in my last 90 days as a marketer, was I really good at marketing? Was I really consistent at marketing the whole entire time? Let me grade my marketing. I put my marketing at a 4. Okay. As an administration person, did I call back all the clients that said I needed to call back? Did I reach out to all the clients that asked me? Did I reach out to them in a timely manner? Did I service them how I should have serviced them? Okay, let me give me a 6. Okay. Did I fill up my appointment? Did I fill up my calendar as much as I should have? Did I consistently make sure that I showed up to the appointment? I showed up to all my appointments. I'm gonna give myself a 9. Okay. When the person when it's time to get administration stuff done, did I make sure that things were signed? Did I make sure that things were in order? Did I make sure that a lot of things happened throughout that process? Okay, well, guess what? You want to grade yourself on that. So when you grade yourself on that, you want to be in a situation to where you go back and you look at, okay, what did I do good at? If I made this certain amount of money, I need to go reinvest in all the things that I had a 4, 5s, 3s, and 2s in. So how can I reinvest in these things? That means that I start putting systems together. That means that I start to try to put some type of team together. And the moment that I try to put a team together, the better it is. The moment that I try to put a team together, the stronger things. That means that I'm solving problems. Remember, a business person thinks about solving problems. A salesperson thinks about the sales. Two different things, two different mentalities. Now, if you would just want to be a salesperson, go be a salesperson. But if you want to be a business person is thinking about how to solve the problems in their business. They understand how to measure it, okay? So now once you get through those 90 days, now you're in a space to where you can go back and you can track everything based on your money. Your money is nothing more than just your measuring stick. That's it. Money is nothing more than just a measuring stick. It's nothing to get excited about. Because if you had to go to work for it, I mean, what are you that excited about? Okay? Depending on how you made your money is what you should get excited about. If I spent a lot of time doing it and I didn't do any tweaks, I didn't add in different things, then guess what? I want to get less excited. I want to get less excited. I don't want to get too excited. You make 100,000, but you spent, a lot of time. That's the thing about the specifically life insurance industry. You can make $1 million 1 year and you're excited. I made $1 million. I'm good. But guess what? You got to get back to work that next year. You got to get back to work the next year. And that's not that exciting. So you want to think about, okay, what can I do on a consistent basis that I can just get in a continuous trends? Like I can continue just over and over and over. I can get obsessed with this one thing. As long as I get good at this one thing, I know for a fact I can be good at everything else. And the things that I'm not good at, all I got to do is stay consistent at this one thing, and I can pay people to be good at the other things that I'm not good at. That's it. That's the simplest thing. And I'm just talking about the first 90 days. We haven't even gotten past that. This is just the first 90 days on where your mindset should be, because you should be in a standpoint of, even if you're already been in the business, your mentality should be, I'm relaunching my business. I'm relaunching. It's so many times I hear people say, I talk to everybody that I know. Don't think like that. Relaunch your business. You know how many people, how many stores I said I wasn't going to go to that I ended up going right back to because they revamped certain things. They said that they changed different things. You can reopen your doors. That's the difference between a business owner and a salesperson. A salesperson is more of a hustler. They jump from anything. They just do whatever. They do whatever's trendy at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna go sell this product. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. A business person is like, okay, this is what we're gonna fix. Let's relaunch this product. Let's do this partnership. And this is exactly how we're gonna get the marketing systems out there. These companies, they understand this stuff. You got to understand that, again, your license is a business. It's not just another thing to make some type of money. It's not just another activity for you to engage in on the side. For my people that are working on a consistent basis, guess what? Your time is not your greatest asset. Your time is not your greatest asset. If you are working, that means that you already have an opportunity to take the money that you have and invest it into your systems and procedures. Just because you're working does not mean that your business should not be working while you're at work. I'm gonna say it again. Just because you're working does not mean that your business shouldn't be working. So if you're going to work every day, ads should still be running. Appointments should still be getting made. People could still be getting called. You want to know why? Because you already have a source of income that's funding that particular business. So now you have the opportunity to take that money and reinvest into your business. So now you can hit your goals a lot faster. So now once you are done with your 9 to 5, you take that 5 to 9, and now all you got to do is just get to work. But it does not mean that you should not have been spending time working on your business the whole entire time. Okay. All right. So let's go over how we're talking to a client, because all I'm doing is going back and I'm listening to all the calls in my mind. I'm listening to all the calls that we had, and I'm listening to the problems. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people are selling these products as if it's like you guys are in the greatest industry in the world. Why? Because you can tailor it to what a person wants. So let's say, for example, right? McDonald's can only sell McDonald's. They can't sell nothing else. They can't go sell Burger King. Okay? Burger King can only sell Burger King. They can't go sell nothing else. You want to be the Walmart. You want to be the individual that when you think of Walmart, you know that Walmart has that one specific product. If I go to Walmart and walk, it's very rare that Walmart don't have the product. Very rare. Because they've created a business model to where I can go there and I know for a fact I can count on this particular thing. But Walmart is not trying, even though that Walmart is a big business, it's not trying to sell me everything. Because mentally I came in for one thing. They know exactly how to send me exactly to the aisle that I need to be on. Where you mess up is you get in front of these people and you're consistently trying to sell them the only thing that you just got trained on. The best advice that I can give you is to make sure that you listen to the client. Listen more than you try to talk. It don't require a lot of talking to sell. You want to make sure that you're having these conversations with people to bring out what are they looking for. Bring out what this person is looking for. When you bring out what this person is looking for, you can provide them with the answer. When you provide them to an answer of their problem, guess what? They're immediately ready to do business with you. Immediately. And then guess what? If you can't answer the problem, give it to somebody else. It's okay. You don't want to get everything. You don't want to stress yourself. So what do I mean? Let me break it down in a more simple manner, right? If I'm talking to a person and they say, man, uncle, cousin, auntie just died, and I'm in a space to where, I just know I got to get something. I got to get something. Don't go try to talk to them about how this new IUL do 3 to 7% and 7%. It just did all that. Don't do all that. You got to automatically understand what they want. They want a policy focused on specifically the death benefit. And that's your conversation. I'm not saying you can't go back and, resell or do an upsell. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you don't want to throw the person off and make them feel like this is too much. Because when people feel like this is too much, automatically they go back. You got to understand that whether you like it or not, this is a very emotional business. Every product that you can't physically touch, think about it, right? These people don't even know if this stuff is going to pay out. I mean, we are just talking. It's all hoopla, You want to make sure that you angle the conversation to exactly what they want at that moment. If you don't do that, that person is going to tap out. That person is mentally going to be like, you know what? This is a lot. They're going to look at all the paperwork. No, you want to be like, hey, listen, I got the answer to your problem. I got the answer to what you want. So let's reverse it again. If I'm having a conversation with somebody, right? Even if that's all I can sell, a lot of y'all can only sell one product, which is fine. Still, even if you still want to highlight the best opportunities of your particular product that fits that person, don't go into the deep dive of everything. And that's going to go into my next conversation. A lot of times when you're talking to people, you don't want to just shoot right at it. You want to analyze what type of personality is this person. There are multiple types of personalities. When you begin to understand the multiple types of personalities, you know exactly how to communicate with that person. You can't communicate with everybody the same. Remember, there is a difference between a salesperson and a person that's a business owner. A salesperson really believes, they hype up every day and they believe that they can sell everybody. They strive off of trying to make the most sales. A business person, they have a target audience. They know exactly who they're going to sell to. They know exactly who their audience is. And if they spend marketing dollars, they're going to spend every dollar, at least 90% of those dollars, on the people that is going to buy their product. You don't want to be in a situation to where you spread yourself too far and you spread yourself too thin. If you're reinvesting into your business, especially in marketing, if you are spending time, which is the most valuable asset, talking to somebody, you want to understand that I want to talk to the person, and I want to, because when you speak to them, you're marketing. When you're having a conversation with them, you're marketing. I want to market to this person exactly what I know they're going to purchase, not what I think they want to buy, not what my upline or whoever is promoting at the moment, not what makes me the most commissions, because you might get nothing if you don't answer their problem. I'm not going to try to sell a coat in Florida. It's not going to work that way. Okay? I'm not going to try to sell sandals. I'm not going to try to sell swim attire in a place where there's a desert. You have to know who you're talking to. You have to know your audience. You got to know who you're speaking to. And the only way you're going to do that in this type of business model is by asking the right questions. A lot of people judge me based on, my type of questions because I get straight to the point. But guess what? My time is valuable. Okay? My time is valuable. And when you want to know what's so valuable? My intellect. My intellectual property is valuable. Because when I speak to you about exactly what you want, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get exactly the answers that you need because I spent the time to invest in my mentality. I spent the time to invest into my intellectual property. And just because I spent time investing into my intellectual property does not mean that I need to bombard you with the information that I just learned. That's amateur activity. Amateurs, they try to show you too much too soon. Amateurs, they try to do too much flashiness. Let me show you this number here. Let me do this. Let me do that. That's amateur work. We are business people, and business people know exactly what angle to go with. Business people know exactly how to make it get done. You want to know why? Because again, remember I said the first 90 days, business people track themselves. They track their business. They know exactly what targets they're going to do. They know exactly how to make this thing happen. They've reinvested in their business in an angle that's going to make them more money, not what's going to waste their time. They've tracked everything. They've filled up their calendar with activity. And if there's no activity, that means that there's a problem there. All right, let's go. Drop some twos if that makes sense. Drop some twos so I can move to the next sector. If that makes sense, drop some twos. All right. Whew, that was a lot. I gotta get some water, man. All right, perfect. All right, I see the twos. Now let's talk about the angle, right? I'm gonna spend about 10 minutes. Let's talk about the angle on where you're gonna go and how you're gonna be able to identify a client. Okay, really quickly. The angle of where you're gonna go and how you're gonna identify a client. Let me tell you something. I've sold everything. I've sold a lot of things. Okay, and let me tell you something. It does not matter what you sell. If I was selling toothpicks, I'm going to figure out how to make $1 million because I'm going to figure out what type of person is. This is how you need to be thinking. Okay, what type of angle do I need to go? Understand that you first are the representation of your business. If you don't have the right presence, you need to fix your presence. Okay? You need to fix your presence. You need to fix your tonality. A lot of you all are selling on the phone. Your tonality is very important. I don't talk shy. I talk like I'm an expert. If I'm day one on the job, I talk like I know what I'm talking about. People are looking for reasons not to do business with you. People are looking for every reason possible. Give them less reasons. Javon, you're what, 18, 19 years old. Guess what? People are looking for reasons to not do business with you. A salesperson mentality is, man, I'm 18, 19 years old. I can't sell this. A business person says, who and what can I leverage to make sure that the question of my age don't even come up? What can I do to make sure I communicate to where a person don't even think about what my age is? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Stop letting these people convince you of limitations that may or may not even apply to you. This is how you set yourself up for failure. Easily. Figure out exactly how you want to do this thing, okay? Figure out an angle of leverage, and you go from there. So what is your presence? Your presence is your tonality. Your presence is your word choice. Not over speaking too much, not saying too much, but you still have some type of presence to command the room. So like when people try to get on my calls and they try to act like they're the expert, immediately, no, I shut them down. Even if they may be right, I find something that they're wrong about. Now, I'm telling you guys real tactics that work. I'm not telling you all this other stuff. I'm telling you real tactics that work. You're not going to be the bigger expert than me, and I'm supposed to be selling you. That doesn't make sense. You're not going to tell me about this house that I'm selling. Nope. Even if it looks about 2,000 square feet. Nope. It's 2,100 square feet. And the reason why you do that is because you want to get a person in a consistent, you want to get a person in a mentality that you are the expert. You want to gain some type of respect immediately, not later down the line, not after you've met their kids and their grandparents and, you got to know. No. You want to gain respect immediately. Because immediately when you gain respect, you're going to get respect. Immediately when you come and you command the room and you command some type of presence, exactly what's going to happen is this. They're not going to waste your time. Your tonality is very important. What you're saying is very important because people are not going to waste your time when you're having these conversations. So as you're having these conversations, you want to be very, 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 very careful, because people buy from who they know, like, and trust. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. But a lot of people get that a little twisted. You have bought a lot of things. You have bought a lot of things from brands that you know, like, and trust. You bought a lot of things from people that you know, like. You walked through the mall, and just because the presence of the person that was immediate and he was sharp or she was sharp about what she was selling, you bought from that person. And they told you about your problem and they said, I have a solution for your problem. And immediately you bought from that person. So just think about how you're being sold on a consistent basis, and then you can consistently do that. Okay. So due to the fact that we're in the finance industry, of course, sometimes it's a little shaky. It's a little shaky, especially when you're talking to people with money. A lot of times people don't want to, they don't want to talk about their money. But the reason why you have to have some type of presence and some type of tonality is because you want people to open up about, they're like, you want to have that, right? The biggest lesson that I learned when I first got into the business, I was having a really, really hard time because I was talking to people that I know and things like that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna, how am I gonna make more money? I have people in my group. I mean, they have people dumping $100,000-$200,000 into insurance policies. I'm like, how am I gonna do that? So as my mentor, I'm like, what should I do to make sure I attack or try to be in a situation where I sell a high level client? The number one thing that he's told me, he said, you need to first become high level. You need to first become high level. So if you're trying to be in a situation to where you make more money in this business, you need to understand that what are the people with money looking for? What are the people with money? What type of conversations are they having? So what I realized is if I'm in the money business, the people with money are worried about their taxes. The people with money are worried about where they have their money sitting. The people with money is worried about if their children are going to have to go to probate court. The people with money, if you don't understand this vocabulary, you need to make sure you understand what is the vocabulary that people are worried about that have the money, and what are the things that they're looking for. Are the people with money, are they looking to see if you're in a suit? Are the people with money, are they looking to see that you have a website? Are the people with money, are they looking to see that you have a LinkedIn? Again, like I told you, people are looking for reasons not to do business with you. You do not want to give them a reason. So as time go on, reinvesting into your business is more like reinvesting into yourself. Yes, you want to do the studying, but you also want to do the research. You want to do the research. You want to do the research. I'm going to say it again. You want to do the research. People get a salesperson is consistently, they just only listen to the upline, they listen to the IMOs, they just listen to those people. Business people, they do studies. Business people get on the phone with the insurance company and they figure out, okay, what type of products y'all, okay, who's the number one person selling this product? Okay, well, how are they doing? How long they been doing this? Okay, you got to do research. The more research you do, the more you have a better understanding. A business person thinks totally different from different angles. Okay. So when you're having these conversations, you want to be very, very careful. And I can go deeper into this at another point, but you want to be very, very careful when you're having these conversations with these types of clients. Very careful, extremely careful, because you don't want to talk yourself. You want to treat every conversation like it's $1 million. You want to treat every conversation like it's $1 million. Okay. And you want to make sure that immediately you have good judgment of character. People say don't judge people. Let me tell you something. In this business, you got to judge people because you don't want people to waste your time. Okay. And you want to make sure that you give them what they're looking for in that matter of time frame. You want to make sure that you don't spend too much time wasting time. Can you, like, people will fake the funk? I have people that have conversations. When I first started in the business, I would have conversations with people. I think they have money, and then I'll be pissed and I find out they don't have no money. I'd be pissed because I just wasted all of this time. So what I did was I realized that, okay, I was wasting too much time. Now I need to put, a door stopper. I hired a person, people can't even come this way unless they're qualified. Let them know already, if they don't have 500 to 1,000 a month, we're not talking at all. And the reason why you want to do that is because, again, your time is valuable and your goals are valuable, and you can't get to that. It sounds harsh. I know it sounds harsh. It may not be that much for you, but figure out what angle you want to go with, okay? And you want to go with that. I know people right now, they only focus on people that are over the age of 65. And let me tell you something. I know people where if you can't get on Zoom, we're not talking. If you don't know how to answer the phone, okay, go find somebody, because we're not doing it. If you don't know how to sign something, I just got to a point in my business probably about a year ago to where I put barriers. I put so many different barriers in place that I knew that will qualify if a person is going to continue to pay their premium. Why did I do that? Because I said, okay, the persistency is not there. I was making it too easy for people. You make it too easy for people, they don't put in the work. Guess what? They don't value it. We see that in everything. You see it in relationships, you see it in jobs, you see it, you give people too much too soon, they have no reason to value it. They have no reason, to do it. And a lot of your people would say, well, you just have to educate them. No, you have to qualify them. Okay. Everybody does not need to be overly educated. Some people, they have common sense. Okay. Some people, they're very well aware. Some people, it don't take all of that. Well, if it didn't take all that, well, why do y'all give people, your information for them to do your taxes? If it does take all of that, why do you trust people so easily with your own information? Why do you go give the car to the person to fix your car and don't even think about if they're even doing what they're supposed to do in the back? Is the person that's fixing your car educating you on every little detail? No, they're not, right? But you still pay them. Is the doctor educating you on every little detail about everything? No. but you still pay them. You still pay your insurance company. So get out of that mentality. Think like a business person. Talk to people based on specifically what they're looking for, on how to solve their problems. You figure out how to solve their problems, it's going to be very easy for you to solve the problem. And yeah, you make money. You make money very easy. Money's easy. This is a money business. It's very easy to make money. Very easy to do it in this business. But there's certain things that you're going to have to tweak, and there's certain things that you're going to have to implement over time. And you have to understand that this is a business. As soon as you get that license, you're in a business immediately. Not when you made your first dollar, not when you did this, not when you did it. No, immediately you have to run it like a business. All right, let's go. Let's if we can drop some questions, probably about 10 minutes, questions in the group chat. And this is recorded only for people that are in the pro group. If you're not in the pro group, you need to text Sheena. Sheena will make sure that you get in the pro group. Or you can text whatever number texts you. When do you get your license? Okay. So when I first got my insurance license, I was 21. Okay. And what happened was, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like the studying thing. So in my third day of studying, I got irritated and I just went ahead and paid for the test and I started taking the test. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to see what was on. I didn't take it to pass it. And I'm just telling you, ask me a question. This is exactly what I did. I didn't take it to pass it. I wanted to see what was on the test, and I wanted to see how should I study for the test. Because I kind of knew how tests work because, I went to school. So I realized that the things that I was studying probably didn't align. So when I took the test, when you take the test, they're going to give you a sheet. They're going to give you a sheet. I took the test and I looked at what did I know and what did I not know. The things that I didn't know, I made like a 50. A 50 on a test that I know, an industry that I know nothing about, that's really good. So I looked at specifically what are the areas that I needed to know the most. The areas that I need to know the most was laws and dates. I failed laws, I failed dates. All the other vocabulary was common sense. So I went back and I studied laws. And about 2-3 weeks, I ended up passing. So when you're studying, you want to study vocabulary. Your test is going to be built based on vocabulary. Your test is also going to be built based on how you answer the question. So I also realized when I took the test that it's not going to be A, B, C, D. Okay, this one is right and all these are wrong. The test don't work that way. All the answers are right. Okay. They're going to ask you which one is least likely to be right or which one is most likely to be right. That's how they will do your test. So don't get in the habit of, okay, this one's going to be right and this one's going to be wrong. It doesn't work that way. It's critical thinking skills. You're in a space to where they're going to look at specifically, okay, what angle is this person coming from? Is this person mentally capable of doing a financial plan for a client or not? All right, next question. What are some ways you found clients initially? So initially, partnerships. Partnerships is really, really good. You want to make sure that you utilize partnerships, okay? Especially if you don't have any type of, y'all got to understand that there's so many different angles that you can come about in this business. You have tax accounting. Yeah, I've made money with tax people. I've made money with financial advisors. I've made money with CPAs. I've made money with so many. I just got on the phone with a friend that does taxes. She's like, "How are we gonna get to the money?" I'm like, "Okay, bet. Say no more." I know every year in April you do $500,000 a year in taxes. That means you got about 500 clients. So what should we be doing? We need to go back and we need to recycle those clients that you have. So partnerships are going to be a big leverage. Everybody's talking about these lead stuff. Partnerships, 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 partnerships. This is how you grow your network. This is how you're going to make sure this cost per lead goes down. And this is how you're going to make sure you get the experience. In the beginning, don't worry about, and here's another thing. It's people, they be like, oh, what, you just got your license. What's my commission rate? Who gives a damn what your commission rate? You don't have no experience, okay? Your goal is to get as much experience as fast as possible. If they put you at 50%, if you don't know how to sell, it really don't matter. 100% of nothing is nothing. 50% of nothing is nothing. You still don't know the skill sets to make 6 figures. Don't matter if they put you at 25, don't matter if they put you at 50, don't matter if they put you at 100. I see other companies, right? There's this big company, they'll go around, they tell people, well, we'll put you at 100% commission and then they'll target people that's at like 50% or 25%. And then you bring the people over, you realize they should have been at 20. They don't know how to sell. They have no incentive of doing the work. So when you have a system where you have no incentive of ranking up or going to the next level, you don't appreciate it. So if you give a person 100%, guess what? They didn't do nothing with it. And it was a major fail. So guess what? They don't even do that. They don't even do that no more. All right. So partnerships is really going to help you out. Partnerships. Make sure you're building relationships, building good relationships with people. And when they send you people, make sure you send them people too. How do you get into partnerships when you're just now starting? Oh, you should. Well, you got to get your license. That's it. If you don't have your license, these questions don't even matter. You got to get your license, okay? Because when you get your license, everything, you can only, you can't have a double mind. You can't be focused on multiple things. You get what I'm saying? Use these calls to get you excited. When I post, okay, but I just made this amount of money today. I made this today. I made this today. I made this today. Get excited. You know what I'm saying? To go study. But if you have your license, anything I'm saying really don't matter. What license should someone on First Life or PNC? So life insurance gives you a lot of money up front. Property and casualty, today's time, it's a little bit harder to get into. You kind of need money to invest in it. PNC is your trail money, depending on what angle you go into. So you want to make sure that if you are taking advantage of PNC, that you have the money to invest it into it. There's a lot of people failing in PNC, I'm gonna be honest, because the industry is changing. You got big companies and things like that. I would start off with life insurance because you get the results faster. And everybody that's in life insurance, if you understand, depending on what, once you get into life insurance, you have so many different angles in the life insurance space, period. But take that money and figure out other ways to invest into it. Just for me personally, it just made sense. Take your life insurance money, invest it into PNC money. PNC businesses. That just makes sense because the commissions are totally different. And then the clientele, it's not the same either. Even how to keep a customer on books is not the same at all. You can't. It's nothing you could do for certain people. All right. So anything else? Again, pro group, you can get this recording. We're gonna do this consistently. I just gotta get on a calendar. I'll make sure, or however my calendar is set up, we make sure we do these. If 6 o'clock is better, if you're in the pro group, I have another call at 8, and this is specifically for my clients. It's going to be 100, 200 people on there. Guess what? I'm going to educate them about what they already bought and educate people, brand new people. They're coming from ads, they're coming from all over the place, right? And instead of talking to 1 or 2 people at a time, guess what? I'm talking to hundreds of people at one time. And if you want what the hell I got, get it. It is what it is. Okay. So no, independent, thank God. The reason why, I don't even want to get into it, but independent. I don't get along with IMOs. So yeah, so let's go ahead and let's get to it. Make sure y'all text, send in your forms, do whatever you got to do. And let's get to it. Y'all got any questions? Just definitely let us know. Thank y'all so much. Have a good one. Bye. And then look, type in a group, whatever. There's a few people that joined. It's at 8 o'clock. It's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. There's a few people that joined. Type in the group what your experience was and if you learned a lot. All right, y'all have a good day.